Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about one of the biggest superhero box office disasters of 2026. I'm talking about Supergirl. The film starring Millie Alcock as Kara Zor-El opened to just $38 million domestically and around 63 to 68 million worldwide on a reported $170 million production budget plus another $120 million in marketing. That's a catastrophic result. Analysts are now projecting losses between $80 and $120 million for Warner Brothers and DC Studios. It earned a B- cinema score and suffered from terrible word of mouth. But why did it flop so hard? This wasn't just generic superhero fatigue. It was a perfect storm of bad decisions. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what went wrong: the script, the direction, the budget, the marketing, and what this means for James Gunn's DCU going forward. Let's get into it. When James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC Studios, they promised a fresh start. Their first film, Superman, in 2025 was a clear win. It had strong reviews and solid box office. It felt like a proper reboot. Naturally, the next big project was Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock, fresh off House of the Dragon. The movie was loosely based on Tom King's well-regarded comic, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. The premise sounded interesting on paper. A more cynical, hard-drinking Kara Zor-El goes on a galactic revenge quest with a young girl named Ruthie after tragedy hits close to home. Jason Momoa was attached as Lobo for some extra energy. It was supposed to feel different, cosmic, gritty, and character-driven. Expectations were high. Many fans were excited to see a fresh take on the character. But from the moment reviews started dropping and the opening weekend numbers came in, it became clear something had gone very wrong. Let's start with the cold hard numbers. Supergirl opened to $38 million domestically. That was well below pre-release tracking of around $50 million. Worldwide, it managed roughly 63 to 68 million in its first weekend. For a film with a $170 million production budget and heavy marketing spend, this was disastrous. To break even, it needed somewhere between 300 and 375 million worldwide. Current projections have it landing around 200 to 210 million total at best. That's an $80 to $120 million loss. Compare that to other recent superhero films. Even troubled projects like Morbius opened higher. The Marvels had its problems, but still performed better in its opening frame. Superman in 2025 opened to 125 million. The second weekend reportedly dropped around 75% in some reports. That's a brutal sign that audiences were not recommending it to friends. This wasn't just a slow start, it was a full rejection. The biggest problem with Supergirl was the screenplay. Loosely adapting Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow comic, the movie kept the basic idea of a traumatized, hard-drinking Kara teaming up with a young girl on a revenge mission against a brutal space pirate named Krem. But according to most reviews, the execution was poor. Critics described the script as having weak structure, bad dialogue, and feeling emotionally flat. Kara's cynicism and depression were present, but the film didn't give her enough depth or meaningful growth to make audiences care about her journey. The villain Krem came across as a generic Mad Max in space character, visually derivative and lacking any real menace or personality. Many viewers found the story jumpy and undercooked. Emotional beats, especially involving Crypto the super dog, that should have hit hard landed with a thud. One major review called the film super horrendous, criticizing its pretentious punk rock tone that never felt authentic. When you take a respected comic and turn it into something that feels generic and poorly paced, audiences notice immediately. The script simply didn't deliver the emotional core or exciting story people were hoping for. Director Craig Gillespie, known for films like I, Tonya and Cruella, has no experience with big superhero spectacles. The movie reportedly feels like a poor imitation of James Gunn's style. Trashy space bars, needle drop songs, quirky one-liners, and slow-motion fights, but without the heart, humor, or visual flair that makes Gunn's work work. One widely mocked element was a needle drop that became a meme online. The visuals were called a mess in multiple reviews. art direction and final act desert sequences looked cheap or uninteresting. CGI and lighting issues were frequently mentioned. It tried to be gritty and punk but came off as trying too hard. The tone was all over the place, dark and depressing one minute, trying to be fun the next. James Gunn approved the script and the director. This was his first real misstep as the architect of the new DCU. Superman worked because it felt authentic to his vision. Supergirl felt like someone else trying and failing to copy it. Another major issue was the budget. They spent $170 million on a character who isn't Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman. Supergirl has never been a character that creates event-level blockbusters on her own. When you combine that with a film that didn't deliver, you get exactly what happened. DC has a terrible track record with spinning off lesser characters into big-budget solo films without building proper hype. Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, Shazam, Fury of the Gods all struggled. When the character isn't household name famous, you can justify this kind of spending. Marketing also played a role. The trailers didn't generate massive excitement. There was some online noise about the film being too woke or feminist, though that was louder than its actual impact. More importantly, superhero fatigue is real, but it's selective. Audiences aren't tired of superheroes entirely. They're tired of mediocre ones that feel like homework. Films like Deadpool and Wolverine succeeded because they felt fresh. Supergirl didn't. A lot of the opening weekend crowd was older males who were already skeptical, while the younger audience the film seemed to target didn't show up in big numbers. Despite all the problems, there was one clear, bright spot. Millie Alcock. Almost every review praised her performance as the best thing in the movie. She brought charm, vulnerability, physicality, and a raw, snarky energy to Kara. She made the depressed space drifter version of Supergirl feel lived in and compelling. Many people said she was the only reason the film was watchable at all. The tragedy is that she was given a weak script and a film that couldn't match her energy. One great performance can't save a fundamentally broken movie. So what does this mean for DC Studios? It doesn't kill the DCU, but it is a warning sign. James Gunn and Peter Safran have said this is just one component of a long-term plan, and they're right. But it shows that audiences are picky now. They want quality, not just another superhero movie. Moving forward, DC needs to be smarter with budgets on mid-tier characters. They need stronger scripts, and they need to make sure every film actually feels like an event worth leaving the house for. Supergirl had potential. Millie Alcock was excellent, but the rest of the film simply didn't rise to the occasion. What did you think of Supergirl? Did you see it in theaters, or are you waiting for streaming? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into movies, box office, and the future of the DCU. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.